Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome to Tag Tuesday. Today I'm going to be doing the Charlie birthday book tag. If you don't know, Charles Heathcote, one of the great booktubers in existence, celebrated his, I believe, 30th birthday on Sunday or over the weekend, and his friend Charlie Brooke created a birthday tag to celebrate his birthday with all kinds of things. Charlie, and I certainly want to participate. I love Charlie Heathcote's channel. I love his wool gathering videos. I love to sit and listen to him muse for 30 or 40 minutes about whatever's going on in his day, in his life. I don't know. He's funny, he's charming, listening to him is incredibly relaxing. I like when he goes on a walk with his dog Sally. He's just all around great. And on top of that, he's a very talented writer. So this tag is a celebration of him and his birthday. So happy birthday, Charlie. I know it's a few days late. So prompt number 1, Charlie is the name of the game. Which is your favorite book, either by Charles or by Charlie Heathcote, or featuring a Charles or a Charlie? Well, I have read An Heir to Murder by Charles Heathcote, which I just thought was great. Kind of classified as a cozy mystery. A really, I thought, lovable and memorable character named Alice Valentine, who kind of stumbles into being a local detective, and it's just written with such humor. I thought I would share a line from me from the book, which is one of my favorites. I have a sticky note here. So this is Alice talking about a past relationship she had, or somebody she'd been involved in a relationship in the past. He had a look of admiration that she hadn't seen on a man's face since she let Calvin Dodgson lick jam off her big toe. They'd split up after that. She didn't have a foot fetish, and he never got over the aftertaste for dual-action athlete's foot treatment cream. Kind of a line in there to give you some idea about Alice and her romantic life, and I just thought just funny. Question 2, Our Doris. Charlie's written a series of books about a character named Doris. The first one being Our Doris, and then I know the last one he's working on now is Royally Doris, I believe. Just forgot the name of the second one. Sorry, Charlie, I'm old. So question 2, Our Doris, a book you loved featuring a protagonist over 50. As the question I think points out, it is difficult to sometimes find books with protagonists written over 50. So I chose Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. And the character in that book who's over 50 is the main character. Her name is Janina Dusheko, and she's just charming and quirky and interesting and opinionated and strong, and I just really enjoyed her. I enjoyed the book. It's a little bit not what you expect, but I just thought a really good book, and so that would be my choice for prompt number 2. Prompt 3, An Heir to Murder, a favorite crime or mystery book. I'm going to go with Elmore Leonard's Get Shorty. I haven't read anywhere near enough Elmore Leonard, and every Elmore Leonard I've read has just been really well written, really sharp, really great dialogue, really interesting characters. This book involves a kind of small-time Florida criminal going to Hollywood and getting involved in the movie industry, and kind of there being criminal elements there. Just sharp and great. And Elmore Leonard is somebody, if you haven't ever read him, you should read him, and Get Shorty would be a good place to start. Prompt 4, Chocolat, a book by one of your favorite authors. I decided to go with Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. I've read 3 Colson Whitehead novels, beginning with The Underground Railroad, and then the last 2, The Nickel Boys and Harlem Shuffle. And I consider him to be one of my favorite writers. Maybe you think 3 books isn't enough, but I do. And this book really is just kind of a masterpiece. It is set. It essentially tells the history in fictional form of the African American experience in the United States, from slavery to Jim Crow to horrifying depictions of violence and lynching to the fact that African Americans were used unbeknownst to them for medical experimentation, to all kinds of ways in which the United States essentially in lots of ways kind of tortured and took away rights from and mistreated its African American population. Just really great. A lot of people think that seem to have a problem with the book because there's kind of a magical realism element to it. That's not really magic, but in this book, the Underground Railroad is an actual train, when in reality, the Underground Railroad wasn't. But just really good, interesting book that kind of blends lots of things together. I just think it's great. This is prompt number 5. Reading is fundamental. A book you think everybody should read. This is just one of the toughest prompts on any tag that ever comes up, because by implying somebody should read it, you are saying so much about your apparent taste in books and what you value and what you don't. And one book can't possibly encapsulate that, but I do have a choice, and that is In the Lake of the Woods by Tim O'Brien. Just a great psychological thriller with multi-layers and depths, and story told from various perspectives, and one in which you're not exactly sure what happened in the end. It's kind of a mystery. It's kind of a reflection on the damage people do to one another, the damage that parents do to their kids, the damage that war does to people, how communities look at people from anyway. It's just really, really great, and I for a while there was on book 2. I know that Mark Nash and others had read it, but it really is a book that should be read more. You know, a lot of people read Tim O'Brien's Thing They Carried, Going After Cacciato, If I Die in a Combat Zone. I really think this is a masterpiece. Prompt 6, a TARDIS, a book you wish you could go back in time and tell yourself to stay away from. This is a book I read for the BookTube Prize this year. It's called 3 o'clock in the Morning by Gianrico Carrafilio. I checked it out from the library. Thank goodness I didn't buy this book. It really was just kind of the most awful, cliched male coming of age fantasy, dad wanting to be cool dad for his son fantasy. And it's just incredibly improbable, and even though the writing was really clear and the translation, since it was translated from the Italian, I thought was really good, the story itself was just it was just odious and to me almost kind of laughable in its sentimentality and its male fantasies kind of fixation. Prompt number 7, Victoria Wood, a book that made you laugh. I'm going to go with The Hamlet by William Faulkner. A lot of people don't think Faulkner is funny, and one of the things that has been reinforced to me, and we've been talking about a lot in our Faulkner in August reading group, is that Faulkner is in fact funny. His humor can be dark. Rarely you just get straight up comedy without something in it that's also kind of dark and gothic. But the last or the section here that's called Spotted Horses, there's a section in the Hamlet which really is just a retelling and a reworking of a short story of Faulkner's called Spotted Horses, which involves the sale of some really unruly horses and what happens. And there's a lot of kind of physical comedy, a lot of kind of slapstick comedy, and you know, a lot of kind of darkness in there too. And I laughed at that. And there were many passages in the Hamlet and in the Town, which we're reading this week, which made me kind of smile and kind of laugh internally. I rarely laugh out loud at a book, but that would be it. I'll leave a link, by the way, to Spotted Horses. There's a PDF you can read of Spotted Horses down below if you've never read it and want to kind of get an idea of Faulkner being humorous. Prompt 8 is So Sally, a book featuring your favorite pet or animal. My favorite animal is a hippo. I love hippos. I have no idea exactly why. Look, I have a children's book on my desk right here called If I Were a Hippo, which is not my favorite book about hippos. My favorite book about hippos, which I mentioned many times in my book, are the Hippo Duology by Sarah Gailey, River of Teeth, and A Taste of Marrow. And these are set in, I believe, right after post-Civil War Louisiana, the time in which hippos have been introduced as a source of meat in Louisiana, and some of them escaped after that kind of hippo ranching failed. Some of them have escaped and become feral, and these stories follow a group of really diverse adventurers and criminals who have missions and go on quests for things, and they ride hippos and they encounter feral, really mean hippos and really mean people. They're just, to me, just a whole lot of fun, and they were about hippos, so, you know. Prompt 9, un libro que amo ancora. There you go. There's my East Texas version of Italian. Either a favorite translated book or a translated book you want to read. I've been reading a lot more books in translations that I got on BookTube, and I believe the one I chose to mention here is At Night All Blood is Black by David Diop. This was an award winner last year. I can't remember exactly which award, International Booker maybe. And it really is an incredibly multi-layered, just kind of sensational piece of writing that centers on a Senegalese military unit during World War I fighting on the Western Front, and it's really just about violence and you know, kind of what that means, and to a certain extent friendship, and it looks at the way you know, white people look at people from Africa and African civilization and what their expectations are. It's just really, it's almost impossible to describe how deep and great and multi-layered this book is. It's short. It's one of those books, maybe I should have picked this as the book everybody should read. I think it's only around 120, 140, 145 pages. It's just great. And I think everybody, that would be my choice, hands down, even though I've read a lot of great translated fiction lately. And then prompt 10, Age UK, a charity shop book bargain you adored. So Charlie works at a charity shop, and he's a manager, an assistant manager of a charity shop in his hometown. And they do have books there sometimes and all kinds of other things. By the way, listening to Charlie talk about his interactions with his coworkers and the public is just one of the real delights of his channel. So I picked a book that I remember most buying at essentially, it probably wasn't a charity shop, but a real sales shop that I love the most, and that's Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. I bought this book. It says half-price books, but I know I didn't buy it at half-price books. I know I bought it at a small local used bookstore in the town where I went to college, and I paid $1.98 for it back in the day, and you can tell how awful and beat up and terrible it is. But I read it and I adored it. I would never get rid of this copy. Anyway, there you go. There's the Charlie birthday tag. Happy birthday again to Charlie, and thanks to Charlie Brooke, the creator of the tag, who I swear I had subscribed to at some point when I went and looked at their original video, which I'll leave linked down below. I wasn't, so I subscribed to her. You should subscribe to her channel and to Charlie. Both great. Anyway, I look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.